Hey, everybody, and welcome to another deep dive with us. Today, we're going to be looking at something pretty interesting, the unexpected perks of learning English.
Yeah.
We've had a source that really digs into how just learning this one language can have a huge impact on your life.
It really is amazing. Like, we always think about language in terms of communication,
Right.
but learning English can open up so many doors for you.
Totally. And our source actually points out just how many people speak English worldwide.
Oh.
Over 1.5 billion speakers
Wow.
in something like 70 countries.
That's wild.
That's like 1 in every 5 people on the planet you could potentially have a conversation with.
Yeah, it's really incredible. It's like this massive network of cultures and ideas and, even opportunities that are all connected through this one language.
Yeah.
So what that really means for you is like travel adventures, international connections, even career possibilities that you might not have even thought about before.
The travel aspect really stuck out to me from the source, too. It talks about being able to explore cities like New York or Sydney,
Yep.
just navigate easily. Order food, connect with locals.
Right.
No more awkward miming in a restaurant trying to get your point across.
Exactly. Or like even asking for directions
Oh, yeah.
or just being able to understand the signs around you. It makes things so much easier.
Yeah.
But it's really more than just the practical stuff. Like
Yeah.
when you can actually talk with people in their native language,
Yeah.
it builds these connections and makes traveling so much richer of an experience.
Like you're not just observing a culture, you're actually like engaging with it.
Exactly.
The source also points out that this whole idea carries over to the professional world as well.
Oh, absolutely. English is like the language of global business.
Yeah, for a good reason.
Yeah. Companies everywhere are looking for people who can communicate with others from different countries.
Makes sense.
So being fluent in English can really help you get a better job, higher salary, maybe even work on international projects.
So learning English isn't just about, personal enrichment. It's also a way to boost your career, which I think is really cool.
Absolutely.
The source doesn't stop there, though. It also talks about how learning English can open up a ton of opportunities when it comes to education.
Oh, yeah. Like, think about it. Top universities, online courses, all these incredible books and research papers.
Yeah.
It all becomes so much more accessible when you have a good understanding of English. You're not limited by language barriers anymore.
It's amazing. You could study at a university in London or really dig into research that you couldn't understand before.
Exactly. It opens up a whole new world of learning.
It really does. But we have to acknowledge that learning any language tastes
Of course.
time and effort.
Yeah. The source makes a really great comparison to planting a tree.
Okay.
You have to nurture it. You have
Yeah.
to be patient with it
Yeah.
and trust that eventually
Yeah.
it will grow.
I love that analogy.
Yeah, it's so true. You might not see progress every single day.
But if you just stick with it, the rewards will come.
Definitely. And speaking of rewards, the source mentions that even fluent speakers make mistakes.
Oh, totally.
So it's important to remember that you don't have to be perfect.
Exactly. What really matters is that you embrace the whole process.
Right.
Celebrate the little wins that you make along the way.
Yeah,
And never lose sight of why you're learning English in the first place.
absolutely. Like, what are the goals that will keep you motivated when it starts to feel difficult?
Yeah.
What do you actually picture for yourself once you've really mastered English?
It's all about finding what works for you, right?
Yeah.
And the source even talks about, making the learning process fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it shouldn't just be textbooks and grammar rules all the time.
Oh, absolutely. It mentions finding activities that you're actually excited about, like watching movies or TV shows in English,
Yes.
or listening to music.
That's a great one.
You could even try like singing along. Exactly. And, there's all sorts of things you can do, like word games or language learning apps.
Oh, yeah. Those are fun.
The more you enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
the faster you'll learn.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And the source also suggests kind of weaving English into your daily routine,
Yeah.
even if it's just for a few minutes each day.
Right. Like even small things done consistently can make a big difference.
Yeah.
So maybe you read a short story in English or listen to a podcast on your commute or even try writing a few sentences in a journal.
Those are great ideas. And speaking of writing, the source encourages you to not be afraid to actually speak English,
Oh,
even if you're worried about making mistakes.
Yeah, those mistakes are going to happen,
Right.
but they're actually really valuable.
How so?
Well, they show you what you need to work on and they give you chances to improve.
I like that perspective. The source also mentions that even native English speakers,
Yeah.
Don't speak perfectly all the time.
Oh, of course not. Language is always changing. What matters most is being able to communicate effectively and express yourself.
Exactly. So true. And it's important to celebrate those small wins along the way. You know, like if you learn a few new words this week, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Or if you understand a song in English,
Celebrate it.
those are victories that keep you going.
For sure. And, the source also talks about believing in yourself.
Yeah.
You can do this. You can become fluent in English.
You got this.
Yeah, every time you study, every time you practice, you're making progress.
It's so easy to get discouraged when you're focused on how far you still have to go.
I know.
But it's really important to acknowledge how far you've already come.
Yeah.
Maybe you started with just basic phrases.
Right.
And now you can have a simple conversation.
That's huge.
That's amazing progress.
It is. You have to celebrate those milestones.
Yeah.
And use them as motivation to keep learning.
Totally. And remember, you're not alone in this. There are tons of people all over the world who are learning English too.
That's right.
Facing the same challenges and sharing the same dreams.
It's a whole community.
It really is.
Mm.
And that shared experience can be super motivating and inspiring.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit here and talk about the possibilities that await those who really embrace this challenge of learning English.
Okay. So the source paints this really cool picture of a future where you can confidently travel the world, connect with people from all these different cultures, and just pursue your passions without language holding you back.
Imagine landing your dream job or working for an international company,
All right.
or even starting your own business. And it's all thanks to your fluency in English.
Exactly. And we can't forget about the personal enrichment that comes with learning a new language.
For sure.
You suddenly have access to so much more literature, film, music, art.
It's like a whole new world opens up to you.
It really is. It's like you're unlocking this treasure chest of knowledge and creativity.
I love that. The source really emphasizes that learning English is about so much more than just being able to communicate.
Yeah.
It's about personal growth, cultural understanding, and really expanding your horizons.
Exactly. And as we've been talking about, it's a journey that takes effort and dedication.
For sure.
But the rewards are just immeasurable.
I totally agree. And the source ends on this really powerful note.
Okay.
It reminds us that every word we learn, every sentence we speak, every mistake we make, it's all a step forward on this incredible journey of learning English.
Yeah, it really is a journey, isn't it? It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day challenges, but I like how this source encourages us to zoom out and see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
See that transformation that's waiting for us.
It really does. And it leads us to this really interesting question. If you could speak English fluently, what would you do differently?
Ooh, it's a good one.
Yeah, like what doors would open up for you? What dreams would you go after? That's a great question for our listeners to think about. And what I think is really cool is that it's never too late to start. It doesn't matter how old you are or what your background is or even what your current level is.
Right.
You can absolutely take on this challenge and experience all the amazing things that come with it.
Absolutely. And there's so many resources out there to help you along the way. You can get guidance from teachers or tutors, or even find language exchange partners or online communities.
It's like you're joining this huge global community of people who are all learning and working towards the same goal.
It's really inspiring.
It is. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the main takeaway here is that learning English is truly an investment in yourself.
Yeah.
It's an investment in your future and your ability to really connect with the world in such a meaningful way.
It really is. And the journey might have its ups and downs, but that destination is so worth it.
Totally.
So keep learning, keep practicing, and don't ever give up on that dream of fluency.
Beautifully said. The world is out there waiting, and we're so excited for you to experience it all. Until next time, happy learning, everyone.